12 SCVs of 2 Week, and 2 Week of course does not have any mules right now because the only one that he had in his base was taken down by those Zerglings. And it looks like another queen is on the map, so 2 queens for Gemini at this point. And if we take a look at the resources, the income overlay here, we will see that there is already an advantage for Gemini right now, and with this expansion up and running, as he continues to saturate drones on the minerals and gas here, that advantage is only going to grow as long as we don't see an expansion from 2 Week right now. And it looks like he is finally creating one more supply depot, going to finish that wall in, and that should at this point create a completely firm wall off so that they cannot get there. You can see, yeah, these 2 Marines getting stuck because they cannot get through any cracks or anything there, so they are going to be forced outside of the base. And a decent amount of infantry starting to pile up for 2 Week now at the entrance to his base. 1 Marauder, and it looks like about 12 Marines, so a decent amount of units here. He is moving a couple out on the map right now. Looks like he's going to try to scout out the situation and see if Gemini has expanded, because once again at this point Gemini has not 2 Week has not scouted Gemini's base at the natural here, so he is unaware that there is an expansion there. Oh my goodness, an absolutely perfect timing from Gemini moving out. You can see he didn't even get a glimpse of the creep, so he is still completely in the dark as to whether or not Gemini has expanded, so that is definitely bad news for him. And it looks like there is still not a lot of SCVs on this mineral line, and we have only 13 SCVs for 2 Week right now, and still no mules. He is constantly using that energy, as you could just see there a second ago, constantly using that energy to scan around the map and see exactly what's going on. And it looks like we're going to see the roaches from Gemini moving up to the base of 2 Week right now, and Gemini continuing to lag a little bit. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with this connection, but anyways, hopefully that'll settle down here in a little bit. But the supply depots for 2 Week are down right now, but I don't think this is going to be enough roaches to come up here into his base and actually do some significant damage. He managed to take down a handful of Marines, but that's about it. And it looks like we actually have stim pack researched for the Terran infantry already from 2 Week, and he does have 2 Marauders, and he's getting the concussive shells upgrade for his Marauders as well, which is extremely useful, especially in fighting off roaches. Roaches, of course, are a much less viable early game option for just completely dominating because of the recent nerf. They now cost 2 supply instead of 1, which may not sound like a big deal, but that's actually a very significant change when you consider the amount of overlords that it takes to supply your army, because essentially if you want to go for a decent amount of roaches now, you have to have double the amount of overlords that you would initially. And it looks like 2 Week moving out across the map with a large army. He's got a lot of infantry here, only 2 Marauders, but a good amount of Marines. So it looks like we're going to see a pretty good clash here early on, and there's stim pack research as well. I'm going to come in here and absolutely take on all of these roaches and Zerglings. Those Zerglings dying so quickly, although I think there are enough roaches here to hold this off. Yeah, and 2 Week is going to back off, although coming back in to try to take on these roaches. Not a whole lot of roaches left, only 5 roaches, and all of them very low on health now, surviving that battle. And but he does manage to clean up the rest of the Marines and Marauders, and at this point it doesn't look like 2 Week actually has any more units right now. He is trying to build some more, but I don't think that Gemini is aware of this. If he were actually to put some pressure on with the units he has, he could do a significant amount of damage. And it looks like there is a Spire now for Gemini, and he does have his layer tech, so we may see some Mutalisks coming out here very quickly, especially since that would be a very, very good option to counter with these, along with these roaches, which are very strong against the Marines. The Mutalisks, of course, not as strong against Marines, but with the backup of these roaches, they will be able to take them on pretty easily. And it looks like the roaches from Gemini are going to move out across the map here, jumping over to the xel'naga watchtower to gain some vision on the map to make sure there aren't any stray units moving around through the middle here. And we do have 3 Mutalisks out already. And if we take a look at the production overlay here, we can see that there are 3 more building. It looks like the mineral lines for these 2 bases are still a little bit undersaturated. Gemini does have a slight advantage still, although it looks like they are evening out right now because there is a mule on the mineral line for 2 Week right now, and 6 Mutalisks coming in to try to do some damage right now on the mineral line. There, of course, are not, well, actually there are a lot. There's these reactors let you pump out Marines so quick, but these Mutalisks are going to have to back off, although, as you can see, the income has completely been killed for Gemini, or on for 2 week, and Gemini moving into the front, a very good move here, bringing in the roaches while the army is away and getting them up into that ramp, and now bringing the Mutalisks back, although maybe a little bit late. He does have more Mutalisks now, though, rolling with a total of 11 Mutalisks. These Mutalisks are going to be able to do a lot of damage. I don't think he even has enough Marines to hold this off right now. So, and it looks like 2 week is going to GG. Gemini manages to take this game down with a fast expo and some great roach and muta control. So GG to 2 week and Gemini, and we are going to move on to an ace match for game 3.